Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen, today I want to talk a little bit about Mullen Automotive Incorporated. This is ticker symbol MULN for those of you who may not be as familiar with the stock or with this company. I know we just talked about them yesterday, and recently I've been trying to, alternate talking about different stocks on different days so stuff doesn't get stale, especially in this really heavy downward market that we're in right now. Just kind of overall across the stock market where it can be harder to get a lot of news to talk about or even a lot of good news. I don't just want to be talking about bad news all day, every day, but this is obviously a really, really rough day for Mullen. You can clearly see that up on the screen. Minus 9.73% during the day today. Started out green and pretty significantly green, but then just went down and down and down as the day went on, and then even more after hours. This isn't the end of the week. We still have Friday tomorrow. Maybe things will rebound a little bit. Maybe things will turn all the way around, but there was one big story today that is driving a lot of this downward movement and downward momentum in Mullen. We can take a look at the broader market today just to kind of give more context to this. The Dow Jones was down 0.82%, S&P down 0.88%, the Nasdaq was down 1.33%, and the Russell 2000 was down. So most of the major indices have been down like all week this week. It's really been a rough week after what was a pretty good week the week before. This week has not been good. We're going into a long weekend, which it seems like, especially in a downward market, isn't usually a great thing. So maybe, tomorrow's going to be even worse. Who knows? But yeah, past 5 days, really rough. Down almost 30% in just 5 days is crazy, especially after being 82% down year to date. But yeah, one big story that we definitely need to address and definitely need to talk about, but plenty of other stories as well. Let's get into it. This comes from Yahoo Finance. They say that Mullen is set to report the strongest balance sheet in company's history. When Mullen reports its quarter ending June 30th, 2022, the company expects to report in excess of $61 million in cash and cash equivalents. Mullen 5 featuring Persona, personal vehicle assistant. You got some pictures here. And then we have this. The fact that an emerging EV manufacturer, Mullen, announces today that it expects to report in excess of $61 million in cash and cash equivalents on June 30th, 2022, after having significantly strengthened its balance sheet over the quarter. Mullen is also restating the following previously released highlights. We have, they delivered their first EV van under a pilot program, payoff of a secured convertible promissory note executed on July 23rd, 2020. This thing got pushed back until 2024, which is going to, allow them to have more money in the short term, which will, hopefully better able keep them afloat if there is some kind of recession, depression, some crazy situation like that going on, which is very possible at this point if we're not already in a recession. Who knows? They were added as a member to the Russell 2000, and they reach an agreement subject to approval by company shareholders to secure $275 million in additional funding for the company. So yeah, just kind of some overall stuff they're talking about. Nothing crazy here, nothing too exciting, nothing too new, but obviously it is, if you are a Mullen shareholder, excited about Mullen and care about the price in the short term, a big deal that they're saying they expect to report in excess of $61 million in cash and cash equivalents, and that they expect to report, their strongest balance sheet in company's history. Because again, when you look at the stock where it's at right now, hey, this is a 52-week high of $15.90, and it's currently trading at $1.02. So to report its strongest balance sheet in company's history could maybe be a good sign that there might be some brighter days ahead for this stock price as it sits much closer to 52-week lows and 52-week highs. But then obviously the big news we need to talk about today is this: Mullen stock falls on no Fortune 500 update. This is what I talked mostly about in my video yesterday, and this is what everyone is getting hyped up and excited for today. Yesterday, I talked about how people were saying they talked with Mullen. They said, hey, press release is coming out tomorrow. Mullen had also previously stated that their Fortune 500 deal announcement was going to come up sometime in the second quarter. And obviously, they waited all the way until June 30th to try and say that it was going to come out. Obviously, the second quarter ends June 30th. Tomorrow is going to be July 1st. That's the start of quarter 3. So they really, put their backs up against the walls, but then even in the last hour, in the last minute, tried saying, hey, no, this thing's coming out tomorrow. Like, yeah, quarter 2, June 30th, right? Haha. Then people are like, okay, well, you're still technically correct. Tomorrow's still quarter 2. If you put this thing out and it's big and it's exciting and, it's an awesome catalyst that shoots the stock price higher, hey, all's going to be forgiven. But I'm recording this right now at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time, and obviously I believe Mullen is based out of California, so it's like 5:15 over there. They still have like 7 hours left to go today, so maybe it's too early to say that they lied. Maybe it's too early to say that there might be a little something suspicious going on or a little something worrisome going on or anything like that. But there's definitely some people worried that this was maybe expected to come pre-market, it was maybe expected to come during market, and it was for sure expected to come post-market. Generally big news like that will come out, within the first hour to 2 hours of market close. And yes, we are way past that. Obviously, the market closed at 4 p.m. Like I said, it's 8:15 at the time that I'm recording this video. And people are, there's still people out there, and we'll go through some Reddit posts and stuff with people saying, hey, it's not midnight yet, especially on the West Coast. Hey, it's not July yet. It's not Q3 yet. But if Mullen wants to play this game of, being like, actually, it's still Q2, even if we release it at 11:59 Pacific time on June 30th, that's a really silly, a really stupid game to be playing. You are going to piss people off. You are going to rub people the wrong way, and you are going to have people questioning, your management and what's going on and stuff like that. And if, they're working typical 9 to 5 days, hey, it's 5:15 over there right now. Hey, the day is over. The work day is over. The common work day is over. Why is this thing not ready? Why is this thing not ready to get put out? You were telling us yesterday that this thing was ready to go and it was going to come out tomorrow. And you've been telling us for months that this Fortune 500 deal, is ready to be announced and it's going to be exciting and Q2 and all this stuff. And people are running out of patience. People are running out of time. And that's why you saw the stock go down 10% today. Not only because the Fortune 500 company had people excited. Maybe that was keeping the stock up a little bit. And yeah, not having that Fortune 500 deal, that's going to drop the stock some. But then also people being like, hey, is this thing a fraud? Is this thing a scam? Were they lying? Is this Fortune 500 deal even real? And then now, can we even trust them? And the fact that you're even letting this whole thing get to a point where you're planting that seed in some people's heads is very, very worrisome. And I'm definitely worried too, because yeah, if, I'm going to go to bed within the next couple hours, maybe news will come out, maybe not. But if I go to bed and it still hasn't come out, maybe I'll wake up to the news, maybe not. But by then, what's going to happen to the stock tomorrow if we wake up and there's still no Fortune 500 news coming out? Then you really have to get worried. If you're a shareholder of this company, you would start getting very, very uncomfortable. Yes, there will still be people, coming up with apologies and excuses and stuff, but it's time for Mullen to put up or shut up and, start delivering on their promises. Or this thing could get really, really ugly fast. Definitely some of the posts we had over here. This was from StockTwit. Somebody said, if you owed me money and you had until midnight to pay me, wouldn't you be pissed if I demanded it at 11 in the morning? News will be released soon. The deadline has not arrived yet. And this was 5 hours ago. Now 5 hours later, like I said, the news still has not dropped. This reeks of like hopium, copium, whatever to me of like, hey guys, it's coming out still. I promise it's not June 30th at 11:59 yet. Like, we'll see. Obviously, like you said, yeah, if you said it was coming out by midnight, you can't demand it by 11 a.m. or whatever, but we were told Q2, and now it's the very last day. I think in this analogy, it's much, much more akin to it being like, I don't know, 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. or something like that. We're definitely getting down to the last minute. We're definitely getting down to at least the last hour here. This guy says, I think the funniest thing I've seen the Bears say all day is that the big PR already dropped. Even the YouTubers like, no, the fuck it didn't, man. They updated their website with things we already knew. The public release will be a bunch of stuff we didn't know. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with this. Like, I don't think, this stuff that Mullen put out was the big announcement or the big PR release. If this was the big PR release, then that's maybe even worse news for Mullen, because that means they're not dropping the Fortune 500 stuff that they promised. Because, they told us we're going to hear the full details of this Fortune 500 deal. And yeah, that's definitely not what that statement was. Some people saying patience is key. This guy's saying, luckily, I don't see Mullen as a scam. I was first introduced to it, yada, 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 talking about, hey, these are still great prices. Be patient. You can scoop this thing up. It's still got a bright future ahead. This person saying, if Fortune 500 doesn't come today, I'm voting no to dilution funding, which is very, very interesting. And obviously shareholders, have that right to be able to ward some of this stuff off. But yeah, if they're going to, I don't know, write not blank checks, but they're not going to cash the checks that their mouths are writing, and they're going to, deliver on empty promises and stuff like that, then yeah, maybe the shareholders are going to, get back at them by voting no for dilution, and maybe, they're going to have some money issues, and this thing could get ugly really, really fast. Again, you definitely don't want your shareholder base being pitted against you, especially a company like Mullen, who, a lot of the fundamentals aren't necessarily there. It's been in, an overvalued price range for a long time without, making money or delivering vehicles or producing vehicles or anything like that. One thing they have going for them is they're very, very passionate and kind of loyal fan base. And if that starts going away, then, what do you have left? This guy's saying, for anyone nervous, it's only 10:30 in Cali right now, 1:30 here in Michigan. There's still time. And like I said, yeah, there is still time, but now it's getting later and later in the day. This was 7 hours ago. You see this post 7 hours ago. You see another post 5 hours ago. Now it's 5 hours later. Now it's 7 hours later. Where's this stuff at? To everyone panicking, CEO has to deliver what was promised. If not, it will be company suicide. Biggest thing David has from us retail is trust. He isn't going to ruin that by not following through, even if it's not the greatest news. Something will be released today, and we'll see. And like he says, hey, the CEO has to deliver. It'd be company suicide. This wouldn't be the first time a company has promised himself and not delivered. And sometimes, yeah, it does lead to company suicide. But yes, that does happen sometimes. And like I said, we are, getting to the home stretch of June. It's a couple hours away from July. We'll have to see how this goes. But so far, there's still a couple hours left in the day. This could change. Maybe this video will age poorly. But so far, today has been a disastrous day for Mullen, the company, for Mullen's relationship with their shareholders, and for the Mullen stock price. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about MULN. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.